to talk about Chad Daybell? Don't we need to talk about Chad? We seriously need to talk about one Mr. Chadrick Daybell. I don't know if that's his name. That is what I have decided to call him. Here's the thing. So I have actually followed this crazy Chad and Lori story for a long time. I've sort of dropped in and out of it. So I know all the characters. I know the broad strokes. I know a lot of fine details. I'm a little bit obsessed with Zulema, Alex Cox's wife. I mean, they were only married for like 2 weeks before he dropped dead. That's a whole other story because I have to do an entire video just about Miss Zulema because, okay. But for right now, let's talk Chad. First of all, in defense of mediocre white men everywhere, Chad is the mediocrest of the white men on the planet. And let me be abundantly clear. This is not about his race. This is not about his gender. It's not even about his mediocrity. I think that mediocre is too good for him. Submediocre? What is the word for when you are like the worst of the worst? Kind of a loser, nothing going for him, and he clearly has severe mental illness, and he's also a serial killer. So I think that he makes men look bad of all backgrounds, races, religions, whatever. I think he makes LDS people look bad. He makes mediocre people look bad. Serial killers, he's doing them fine. Fair representation. And people with mental illness. Most people with mental illness just go to a therapist or they don't. They smoke some weed. They do what they live their happy lives. Happy, depressed, whatever. They just live their lives. They're not out here killing people or deciding that they're God or some sort of deity. Chad, sit down. Okay, now that you're in prison, I imagine you spend a lot of time sitting down. This is what I learned about today, the portals. Did you know about the portals? I knew they were crazy. I knew they had some weird thoughts and ideas about things. I was not aware of the portals. Let me fill you in case you were unaware, like I was until earlier today. So when they make a portal, they just draw a circle in the air and that makes like a portal and they can pass through it and go to other times and dimensions. What now, Chad? You just made this up? You wrote books about it. Okay. And he was like, well, I had to write that it was fiction, but we really know that that's what really happens. Okay, Chad. Instead of trying to create a cult, which P.S., he was too mediocre to get too many people to follow him. Even the other crazy people were like, nah, he's a little too crazy for me. No, thank you. No, thank you. With the portals and the crazy and the your dead grandfather told me such and such. What? How is this man married for 30 years? His wife, Tammy, listen, wherever she is now, rest her soul. We know he killed her. She's a saint. Because to put up with that foolishness for 30 years and then randomly he's like, we need to move to Rexburg, Idaho. What? Listen. Chad has issues. We know he comes from a family of people with issues. And it turns out that Chad's personality was just like Lori's father's personality. Yikes. Also, Lori and her family, like her family of origin, the Coxes, there was some weird, like inappropriate sexual thing going on. There was like something with her and her brother. Okay. So a lot of mental help was going to be needed. Listen, she was always going to end up in an institution. Love it or hate it, for better or for worse, a mental institution, a psychiatric institution, or a prison institution. She was always going to end up in an institution. My sincerest hope was that she got to the institution before she became a serial killer. Now, she is cute and her hair is very good. That's a beachy wave she wears. She wears a beachy wave. And I, for one, need to know how she got it. Now, listen. I wear my coils as God put them on my head. I'm a natural. But are those beachy waves natural? Is she rolling her hair with tampons and sugar water? I need to know. I kind of need to know. That is not my particular hair of choice. But when my hair grows out, I'm thinking about letting it grow out. Maybe I need some tampon curlers and sugar water. I don't know. Girl, what you got in prison? You know what I did when I was thinking about her the other day? I looked up prison hacks. It's a rabbit hole you could seriously fall down. I learned how to do all kinds of things like they do in prison. And then it occurred to me, oh, I could just go to CVS. I could just go to ShopRite. Like, I don't need to like make my own underwear or hair care products when, Dwayne Reed is around the corner. Dwayne Reed is like Walgreens for those of you who are not from the New York tri-state area. We have as many Dwayne Reeds as we have rats, and that is to say a lot of them. Okay, all of that to say, these people are nuts. We knew that though. Chad Daybell is clearly delusional. I kind of want to read one of his books though. I hear they're terrible. So it would probably only take 20 minutes to read them because he's real dumb. And Lori's dad, who was nuts and also went to prison, maybe he prepped her for prison. As they were prepping for like the doomsday and the end of everything, wonder if he also prepped her for prison. Apparently, sometime back in July, a couple of years ago, the world was supposed to come to an end. What are they telling each other now that it didn't come to an end? What are they doing? Are they saying like, oh, no. This is the hereafter. This is what the hereafter looks like. That's why our toilet paper isn't soft. And that's why it appears that we're in prison. Are they in prison in the hereafter? I do not know how this kind of crazy works, but it makes me a little bit mad that I have to defend regular mediocre people against that extreme mediocre man. I have to defend regular mentally ill people over that mentally ill serial killer. Be kind to one another. Just be kind to one another, friends. Especially be kind to your children, and don't beat them or do whatever Chad and Lori's parents did. And also, do not be a serial killer. That's a nice note to end on. Don't go out here in these streets killing people because it's just bad form and it's rude. Okay, I will continue to listen as much as I can because I might now need some therapy. Y'all have a good night and I'll talk to you later. Bye.